Hey fam, welcome back to my channel. I'm Reha and you're watching my weekly vlog. As you can see, I have a new background, but this is only temporary because the sunlight in my room was too bright. So I was like, you know what, let me switch it up. So I'm like in my hallway, which is kind of cute, but I mean, this is temporary. I don't know if I want to make it permanent. These past 2 weeks have been really busy. However, I do apologize for not posting my weekly vlogs earlier, but I'm trying to keep myself scheduled. However, this week has been busy, which you guys are gonna see it in the vlog, but this is only because assignments are wrapping up, which is so good because I'm like, I just want to finish my uni phase and just want to keep working. However, my personal thought of this week was that you just have to keep going, you have to keep pushing yourself. Sometimes there are going to be situations which will definitely make you feel uncomfortable, but you just have to think of like why you want to be here, or why does it matter to you. And if you feel like that energy is not responding back to you, you just have to pick up your stuff and move on, because sometimes being in a space which is not giving you back that energy kind of does drag you down. So if you feel like something is dragging you down and you're like, why is it happening, just go back to yourself, recheck, like, is it actually benefiting me, or I'm just here for people pleasing, which is often the case. But if you feel like people pleasing is kind of coming into your situation, I feel like you just have to recheck, because I definitely had to recheck in with myself this week. And yeah, I had to make some choices, but I'm very proud of making those choices. So yeah, in the end of the day, you just have to keep doing what you have to do. That kind of sums up what my week was like and what my personal thoughts were. However, I hope you guys do enjoy my weekly vlog. And if you guys do enjoy watching my weekly vlogs, you know what to do, and that is to like, share, and subscribe. Good morning. This was the day which was Monday, and oh my gosh, it was my final week of uni. So all that bus ride, all of that, me having to travel for 2 hours or 2.5 hours, will be stopping this week. But I was just taking my moment in to capture that river view that I always used to have. After completing our first assessment, this was our practical assessment where we were gonna dress up and we were gonna do our hair, makeup, and everything. But before that, we had so many like dress runs and all of that, and we were just super tired. But I finally managed to get myself back home. But this was the next morning where I was going out again. And yes, the sun has been blessing us. So sun was doing its work and I was doing my work. And yes, I feel like wearing the dress was such a good option. I feel like I wore dress throughout that whole week. But yeah, meal deals were the only thing that I was surviving on for this week. And after doing my hair and makeup, this is the final look that I created for myself. I feel like I did a pretty good job doing this kind of makeup for the first time, like artsy makeup look. But yeah, we were all hyping up. This was after we did our first full practical assessment run on like 1st May. So we were kind of like proud as a company that like we've actually come this far. And then we were celebrating at night. Of course, me and my girls' time had to happen. But then again, next morning, of course, we had to go back and we were actually so tired. But then we were getting so many gifts and gestures, and this was gesture that was done by our choreographers, mentors, lecturers, you call them. But this was the sweetest thing that we actually received. This was a bit of sneak peek of what the performance itself looked like. It had that theater kind of outlooks. It was not like us continuously dancing, but there was a lot of movement that we were doing which were taken out of contemporary and hip-hop. But yeah, who would have thought that I could do that role? But here I was acing it with my company, and honestly we were all tearing up. I mean, most of the girls teared up in the end and I teared up later in the restaurant, which was hilarious. But yeah, this was me saying my final goodbye to my studio of the university that I used to practice in. Then next morning, of course, I had to get myself to work. So this was just me chilling in the cafe for this cute little time that I was spending with myself, reading a book, doing all that cute stuff. And I feel like I haven't had me time for a very long time, so it was so much needed. And this was finally Sunday where I had to wake up early again but this time I was again going out for work. But yeah, my straightener apparently died on me, so I didn't do anything crazy to my hair, just let it breathe out like as a beautiful day it was. So I was like, might as well, it's not necessary for me to do anything with my hair. But then yeah, I was just enjoying that cute little ride, and then I met my friend later on, and oh my gosh, it has been ages since I didn't go to Vapiano. So that food was fooding. It was so good and so yummy. And this was me wrapping up the vlog. Peace and love.